USC released its fall 2025 admissions report. Find out what President Kim had to say.
President Trump has deployed the National Guard to another West Coast city.
Coming up, cinema students here are worried about Trump's new proposed tariffs, this time on international films.
Annenberg TV News is next.
After a lot of careful deliberation, we've decided that we're going to continue considering legacy status in our admissions process.
USC released its 2025 fall admissions data, ignoring a push from the governor to restrict legacy admissions. Hi, I'm Sebastian Soto.
And I'm Lizzy Brunn. USC Interim President Beong-Soo Kim spoke with Annenberg Media about how legacy admissions will continue.
We always talk about the Trojan family, and all of us understand it really does mean something. And it seemed perverse to us that in considering two equally qualified applicants, that we couldn't consider that one of them had a relative who had attended USC and really wanted to come here as their first choice.
1 year ago today, Governor Newsom signed a bill banning private universities from prioritizing legacy admissions. Students have differing views about admitting those with family connections to USC.
I'm a legacy student thanks to my older brother. I probably would not have gotten into the school if it wasn't for some sort of legacy.
I guess to incentivize donations, they uphold the legacy students.
They want to appease them in the admissions process of their children. That being said, it definitely fundamentally goes against how I think admissions process should work.
In the fall 2025 admissions cycle, 14.5% of the first-year class are legacy students. Some other numbers: 26% of students are international, 22% are first-gen, and 2.4% come from small towns and rural communities.
People still really want to come to USC. The number of applicants that we had is astounding when you just look at the context of our applications going back many years. So that's actually a really positive sign that the university still offers amazing academic opportunities and is still a destination school for students not just in California but from across the country and the world.
USC's acceptance rate went up slightly during this admissions cycle. This fall, the acceptance rate was 10.4%. Last year, it was 9.8%. And in 2023, the acceptance rate was 9.9%. President Kim added that the decision to keep legacy admissions does not come at the expense of admitting first-generation students.
A USC Marshall professor accused of sexual assault in 2020 retired soon after. Now a reporter may have found that there may have been a deal to drop the investigation if Professor Chun-Won Park resigned.
The emails that had been exchanged between the Title IX office and the professor she'd accused, Chun-Won Park at the Marshall Business School, and the dean, who's currently still in that position, Jeff Garrett, were going on behind the scenes, basically discussing the possibility of him retiring early as a way to avoid the investigation continuing. They were instructing him on how to word his retirement letter according to the emails that he had kind of described that process to other colleagues of his.
In his retirement letter, Park said, quote, "I strongly dispute the charges and believe I would eventually prevail. I am further disheartened by the fact that they have misconstrued my comments and actions towards them." The victim, Iris Kim, told the reporter, quote, "I had wanted policy change. I had wanted an apology." Kim added, "I had imagined myself taking the stand and being able to face USC's counsel and also the abuser and his lawyers." USC did continue the investigation, but it was dropped a year later due to lack of participation from all parties. Kim eventually accepted a settlement from the university, though the exact amount she received is undisclosed. In a statement, USC Public Relations told Annenberg Media Dr. Park was not offered a retirement deal.
The USC layoff count has increased to 692. That's an additional 55 employees who have lost their jobs since the school's last report 2 weeks ago. The number of employees laid off has doubled since the end of August. 2 weeks ago, the total number was 637, and today it is nearly 700.
Annenberg Media's Mary Elizabeth is live at the Cinematic Arts School to tell us more about President Trump's decision to place tariffs on international movies. Mary.
Thanks, Sebastian. I'm outside of the School of Cinematic Arts right now, where students and professors are reacting to Trump's new proposed tariffs to international films, a move that could make an impact on what movies are seen on the screens here in the U.S.
핸드폰도 다 끊기고 와이파이도 다 끊기고 응? 계획이 뭐야? 응?
Trump is doubling down on the threat to foreign films he first mentioned in May. Now he's proposing a 100% tariff on foreign films that would impact any movie productions made south of the U.S. Trump described foreign film production as a, quote, threat to the American movie industry, and SCA students are worried about the loss of these important films.
Foreign production companies are what gets a lot of independent film made, what gets a lot of films made that the studios don't want to pay for. So yeah, I think it's a terrible idea.
I think it's very unfortunate because a lot of foreign films are so good, and I think it's if they stop like showing them here because of the imported tariffs, we're going to be losing out on so many like good pieces of media.
Now, this tariff proposal is one of many that President Trump has announced in the last couple of days, some including tariffs on heavy trucks and drugs. For Annenberg Media, I'm Mary Elizabeth, sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Mary. The clock is ticking on a government shutdown. If Democrats and Republicans cannot reach an agreement on a spending bill by midnight tonight, federal agencies will run out of money. Air traffic controllers and active duty military personnel will work without pay. Many federal employees will be on unpaid leave, and national parks will close.
What Democrats have been asking for is simple. Work with us on reducing the harm to health care in this country as a result of the policies of the Trump administration. There's going to be a shutdown tonight, I am afraid. I think it'll have a real impact on our communities, on our states, on our families.
Schumer shuts it down. There is no easy path for it to reopen, so this could go on for months. So we will have no choice. The administration will have no choice but to massively reduce the size of the federal workforce.
During Donald Trump's last presidential term, the government shutdown lasted 35 days, the longest in 4 decades. 340,000 employees were furloughed, and a shortage of TSA employees caused severe travel delays. Many federal workers turned to food banks.
This happens episodically. This is not a one-off event. And I also said, no, not surprisingly, we're all a little bit guilty of presentism. We say, my God, this is terrible. I say, it is. It's not helpful, but if it only lasts a day or two, there's no real after effects from it. So I sort of took an optimistic train of thought of saying, it might very well come to pass, but I'd be astonished if it went more than 1 or 2 days.
As the shutdown looms, Democrats are still fighting to add a $1 trillion health care provision to the spending bill. So far, Republicans are not budging.
Grab a slice and share your voice. Pizza Politics is back. This lunchtime forum serves up free pizza as fellows from the Center for the Political Future dig deep into today's issues.
I feel like this was a good way just to learn about different topics I'm definitely going to look up after as well, read more about. It's very important to hear people's different opinions, and I think the best way to do that is just with a nice normal conversation as well, just making it more casual with the pizza and stuff. I think is a good way to get people talking.
I think it's important to change your mind, on different issues, and so when you have very deep conversations, I feel like I can change my mind when usually I'm very stubborn.
Students at USC, and in general maybe, are hungry for adult conversation, for substantive conversation. They have a serious question, they want a serious answer. Why is politics or government policy moving in a certain direction? What motivates it? What are the implications? What are the second order effects? So we try here at the Center for the Political Future to be able to respond thoughtfully, substantively, rationally to these kind of conversations.
The series runs every Tuesday from 1 to 2 p.m. in SOS B15 through November 4th. So go grab a slice and join in on the conversation.
Oregon is suing the Trump administration over its decision to send federal troops to Portland. The suit comes after protests against the presence of ICE facilities. The administration plans to send 200 National Guard troops for 60 days. Oregon has asked a federal court to stop the deployment and declare it unconstitutional. Trump claims it's meant to restore peace and protect officers.
My mom, my dad have told me about like all these the fears about these federal troops coming in, and I don't think they're gonna be affected, but just like they're just like it's very fearful.
I just think it's like very unnecessary, and I think that it's just another representation of Trump's like overuse of his governmental power.
This year, Trump has also deployed the Guard to Washington, D.C. and Los Angeles. He has talked about deploying troops to Chicago, Memphis, and New Orleans.
The president is planning to distract from all the terrible things he's doing across the country, 8 months of making the country sicker and poorer, and he wants to distract with this type of stimulation of violence that he can then use violence to justify more authoritarian control. So this is straight out of the authoritarian playbook. Portland, don't take the bait.
This is not the first time federal troops have been sent to Portland. Former Governor Kate Brown had them sent back in 2020 to support state police during election-related protests.
Attacks directed at places of worship have raised concerns among people across the country. We talked with students about how safe they feel when practicing their religion.
It's not like we know how to defend ourselves per se if something happens, but our priest is there, the leadership is there to just kind of reassure us and say, just put your faith in God and don't live in concern. At the Catholic Center over here, we have security, but, none of us are naive enough to think that that's going to protect everybody in the event that something terrible happens. But again, it's that aspect of faith that we have, right? None of us are, we're not the military.
The Caruso Catholic Center remains open and welcomes those to practice their faith. However, some students still have concerns about their safety.
Given the situation where we're in, being at USC, it's definitely feels more secure than places outside of it.
I went to church that day in a totally different part of the country, yet my parents were still worried because it can happen to anyone. Life is important, and the fact that people are taking that away in settings where, in a country where we're supposed to be freely practicing religion and our spirituality.
The Jewish community is also observing the High Holy Days this week. Mayor Bass and LA Police Chief McDonnell announced increased security at synagogues across LA. Coming up, Ian's got the latest on SoCal and national weather.
Dozens of people gathered in downtown LA demanding justice for young people across the city.
And SA students have a new resource for finding housing near campus. Details just ahead.
Dozens of protesters gathered outside a Board of Supervisors meeting this morning in downtown LA. They want the county to spend more money on community-based care.
We are here because Los Angeles County has released a $48 billion budget, and once again, billions are going into harmful systems like the Sheriff Department, the Probation Department, DCFS, and while only scraps are left for Care First investments. This means more jails, more abuse, and more harm to our most marginalized communities.
From 5. 1, 2, 3. 5.
The rally was organized by community groups advocating for investment in youth, gender-expansive care, wellness and housing, and alternatives to incarceration.
Do not provide the answers to what people are feeling every single day. So I think what I would encourage people to do is get involved, take a look at your local budgets, and get angry. Let your anger fuel you.
We want to make sure that Measure J is protected, that there's resources for care instead of incarceration. And that obviously organizations that support community continue to get the funding and resources that they deserve.
The budget also includes cuts to arts grants, animal care, and youth jobs and internships. The Board of Supervisors will meet again on October 7th.
A new leasing office will soon assist students looking for off-campus housing. The Standard opens tomorrow. Located just 5 minutes from campus, the Standard is offering students housing for next year's school year.
Everything's super expensive, stuff fills out so fast. Like, we are like about to sign our lease for next fall already because it's that competitive.
Way too far in advance. I think I signed my lease in November for the following year. So only 3 months into school and I was already signing a lease for the next year. I think it's pretty unaffordable for students. I mean, I'm paying about $2,500 a month just to live in an apartment.
Between the stress of students signing leases and rising rents, the Standard is hoping to help students find the right living situation.
And it's a beautiful day here in LA. You can see the Santa Monica Pier there. It was a bit chillier this morning. I certainly felt it on my way to class this morning. Ian, what can we expect for the rest of this week?
Yes, thank you very much, Sebastian. Well, if you woke up early this morning, you saw that marine layer hovering over us, and you should expect more of that this week with AM fog bringing in that PM sun. Good evening, Trojans. Happy Tuesday. Looking at current conditions outside right now, it is 73 with 59% humidity and that Southern California breeze that we all love. Now diving into the 5-day forecast. As you see, we have finally gotten over those 80s and we're lining up for a beautiful week. Tomorrow's high is going to be 76 and all these highs will stay around the 70s throughout the week, with lows sticking around 61 and 63 degrees. There is a current beach hazard statement advisory sticking around the LA and Malibu coast till early tomorrow morning. Dangerous rip currents with wave sets up to 6 feet are expected. In no relation to the weather causing the high surf here, we are tracking a duo of Category 1 hurricanes Humberto and Imelda off the east coast, which is bringing high surf, rip currents, and dangerous marine conditions. Even some minor or moderate flooding risks during high tide to the eastern seaboard. Although there is no landfall expected in the U.S., Humberto and Imelda are threatening the Bahamas and Bermuda with back-to-back punches as they move east, winding down into the Atlantic. And coming back to the West Coast, well, we're expecting a storm of our own. A storm of Dodger Blue fans heading out to Chavez Ravine in about 15 minutes for first pitch in the National League wildcard. It's going to be a blue, breezy baseball night with conditions in the high 60s and light gusts up to 15 miles per hour. Let me know all about it, Lucca.
That's right, Ian. Tomorrow's the first day of October, bringing us the MLB postseason. And coming up, we'll preview what baseball fans call the best month in the sports calendar. October's here, and the Dodgers start their postseason tonight. We'll also be talking about how a man known as one of the best owners in sports is also contributing to his team's downfall. Steve Ballmer, you're on the hot seat. All that and more right after the break.
And welcome back to ATVN Sports. I'm Tony Senhaji.
And I'm Chrysostomou. The Los Angeles Dodgers officially start their postseason journey tonight in the National League wildcard round against the Cincinnati Reds. The boys in blue are in rare territory this October, as the last time the ball club competed in the wildcard round was back in 2021. The Dodgers' streak of NL first-round byes ended this season with both the Philadelphia Phillies and the Milwaukee Brewers besting the Dodgers' 93-69 record. However, the Dodgers are hot off winning 5 games straight to end the regular season, winning their series against the Diamondbacks and sweeping the Mariners. They are also boosted by the recent return of star pitcher Roki Sasaki. At 6:08 p.m., starter Blake Snell will throw the first pitch against the Reds, kicking off this home best-of-3 series, and the Dodgers bid to win their second World Series title in a row.
Today we have an update on Clippers owner Steve Ballmer's alleged role in the Kawhi Leonard scandal. It began nearly 3 years ago, according to journalist Pablo Torre. Aspiration, a team sponsor which Ballmer had invested in, signed Kawhi to a 4-year deal worth nearly $30 million in exchange for nothing, which allowed the Clippers to avoid the NBA's salary cap restriction. Take a listen to Kawhi's response of the allegations at Media Day yesterday.
I understand that full contract and the services that I had to do. Like I said, I don't deal with the conspiracies or the clickbait analysts or journalism that's going on.
Wow, Kawhi looked really angry there. Here's the timeline. 2022, Kawhi agrees to the Aspiration deal. That same day, the Clippers paid Aspiration $32 million for carbon credits. In 2023, Aspiration goes under investigation, and now Tory's new document reveals Steve Ballmer gave nearly $2 million to Aspiration's co-founder in 2024. Which begs the question, if Ballmer insists he had no idea of suspicious activity, why was he still giving money after a public investigation? The Clippers owner has declined to respond to the new findings.
Definitely some suspicious news, Stoney. It seems like Steve Ballmer has a lot of money to spend. You know who also has a lot of money to spend? The Saudi Public Investment Fund. As EA Sports has been acquired by a group of investors led by this Saudi Public Investment Fund for a whopping $55 billion.
It's in the game.
You might be wondering what makes EA Sports worth all that money. Well, EA Sports' value is generated from the notable gaming franchises they produce. This list includes Madden NFL, college football, EAFC, NHL, and F1 to name a few. The net worth of these franchises brought together equals the $55 billion price tag that the Saudi PIF paid in partnership with Silver Lake and Jared Kushner's Affinity Partners Group. This marks the largest private equity buyout ever. So, Tony, what do you think this Saudi investment will mean for EA Sports and gaming?
Oh man, I have a hate and love relationship with EA Sports, but I really do think that we need to just fix all EA Sports games.
Totally agree. Well, now it is time for No Huddle, our weekly segment, but this week, there's a twist.
In this edition of No Huddle, the wheel decides your fate. One host spins the wheel and the other host has to answer the question that lands, and then we switch.
Okay. My turn first? Your turn?
Yes, your turn first.
Okay.
And
all right,
Chargers. My man, how do you feel like the Chargers are going off so far?
I feel like the Chargers are okay, but we were talking about that last week, and Jackson Dart just completely diced them up. I was surprised with the coaching move, but...
You got 5 seconds.
Okay, gotta say, Jackson Dart has potential. Jackson Dart will be the GOAT.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay, my turn on the wheel.
All right, let me hear it.
Let's make this quick. Okay, what is it? Clippers. We just talked about this, Tony. What do you think about the Clippers?
I mean, Bradley Beal already going into an injury heading into training camp. Man, the unction is really starting off pretty bad so far.
It's a lot of old heads, Tony. A lot of old heads on that team.
Lots of old heads.
Well, we've got to wrap up No Huddle, and that's it for No Huddle and ATVN Sports. Stay tuned next week for more from your favorite sports anchors and the Wheel of Fate. Take it away, Lizzy.
Thanks, y'all. Just ahead, a U.S. Marine whose life path took him in a different direction. This week's Guided by Purpose, next.
Got your ticket yet? In tonight's Guided by Purpose segment, Drew Richmond introduces us to a hero forced to find a new way forward. Drew.
Welcome aboard, my people in purpose. Today, our passenger is a former Marine, Giovanni Perez. He dedicated 14 years to protecting our freedoms. But then in the Battle of Fallujah, a rocket destroyed one way of life and directed him towards another.
And it wasn't until I had my daughter, and I remember I was holding her one time, and she was a newborn, and like any kid, they pass gas. But in my mind, I had like a flashback. To me, she was like a mom. I think I've always appreciated life. I always appreciated everybody around me. But my life was different, right? And I think I took that. And now that I'm here at SC, I appreciate it, right? I walk through these halls, I'm like, damn, you belong here, right? Everything I'm doing there's a purpose.
Now let this be our reminder. When life knocks us down, purpose lifts us back up. We can always find our way forward, guided by purpose.
What a great lesson. Thank you, Drew. And thank you for watching Annenberg TV News. From everyone here at Annenberg Media, I'm Sebastian Soto.
And I'm Lizzy Brunn. For more coverage, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. We'll see you next time. Good night.